Hey, welcome back. It's Carlos Cavallo from datingfire.com and datingadvicegurucomp9341.com. You know, we all want to have kind of a magical control over our partner, don't we? We want to have that magical effect on people. Wouldn't you just love to walk down the street and have 50 guys just immediately turn their heads and look at you? We all have that desire, and women especially want to know, how do you get a guy to feel addicted to you? Because when a guy is feeling that level of attraction, he's going to be yours. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you 7 ways to get him addicted to you. So what is addiction? Well, addiction is actually a process of biochemical connection between two people. Love is mostly hormonal at the early stages. Not a lot of people know this, but it's really a lot of chemicals that are floating around in your brain that create this feeling of addiction and desire in you. At the very first part, of course, it's going to be infatuation. Then that leads to the real big excitement, and then comes what? Yes, the love, and then of course the long, steady connection that keeps you together for years and years. In fact, the effect of the love chemicals that are floating on your brain differ into 2 stages. The early first stage, that's really like crack cocaine. I know I hate to use drug references, but that's what it's like in your brain. You feel high, you feel really jacked up on these endorphins and things floating around in your bloodstream, like dopamine, serotonin, adrenaline, vasopressin, oxytocin. You've probably heard of all these in other scientific articles. And then later on in your relationship, it turns into kind of a heroin, feel-good, steady feeling. It's not as exciting, but it still keeps you together. It's what we call the cocktail of attraction and connection. It gets you through that early phase so that you two stay together, make babies, and stay together. I know a lot of fairy tales and romance books make you want to think that this is magic or destiny, but it isn't. It's actually very tangible and physical. Science is better and more predictable than magic anyway, so wouldn't you prefer that? Of course you would. The things that men respond to are the same things that you do, really, in the end. Whatever makes you feel better about yourself. With men, it's validating his value in the world. It's kind of the same, slightly different than yours, but it's actually very close. So let's get into it. Number 1, what is one of the first ways you can really make him feel addicted to you? It's through your confident behavior. A lot of guys feel like they're misunderstood by women. And this concept of connecting with him is also very misunderstood, as I'm going to tell you more about too. See, your confidence is not acting like a bitch, okay? It's not acting like you're incomplete all the time either, on the other end of the scale. Don't be scared of loss. That's what it really comes down to. A man can sense how scared you are of losing a relationship or how scared you are of loss. Look, we all have a needy side. We all have it. Even he does. But you can't show it, especially early in the relationship. And initially, we trust some very automatic mechanisms in our head to tell us whether or not this person is right for us. And that's the first one we look at. Number 2 way to make him feel genuinely addicted to you is to be genuine. Genuine interest in his life and him as a man. You see, we rarely feel like women are genuinely interested in us. I know that sounds kind of horrible, but there's a saying. A man's desire is for the woman. The woman's desire is for the man's desire. Think about that. That's big. Because a guy often feels like an accessory. You've got to make your love feel very specific and personal. Those are the 2 words I want you to really remember. Specific and personal. Like, this guy is unique and irreplaceable to you. You really got to be his groupie in a lot of ways, okay? Ask him questions that are smart to draw out more of his personality and the things that are personal to him. And here's one thing you absolutely should do right now. Put down your phone. Oh my gosh, you've got to make sure that you're not on your phone, you're not scrolling through Instagram, you're not doing all that Facebook crap while you're talking to him. Put your phone down. Absolutely the most important thing you can be doing on any date or any of the time that you spend with him. By the way, this little factoid is why most women actually get over breakups better than men and faster than men, even though it might not seem like it at first because of all that emotion you're going through. Men have a harder time with separation, divorce, depression. They get into depressive cycles and even suicidal cycles when relationships end, because they're much more attached to the idea of the woman that they're with. And that's what you have to make him understand, that you're also really into him just as much. Number 3 is act like the prize. At the other end of the spectrum, your confidence can be communicated best by knowing your worth. Look, don't put up with mistreatment. It's an obvious thing, right? Don't let him mistreat you. And we do it in subtle ways, not meaning to, but we do. And then you suddenly realize, oh, they let me get away with that. I wonder what else I can get away with. Again, this is not overtly done. He's not looking to take advantage of you or mistreat you, but we all do this at some level. If people let us walk all over them like a rug, that's what we end up doing, unfortunately. So here's an example. If he's late for a date, you're waiting at the restaurant, leave after 15 minutes. Never let a man stand you up for longer than 15 minutes. If you do, you're teaching him that it's okay, and he'll just do it because he figures, she doesn't mind. Another one, stop texting him all the things you want to do for him, all the pumping up and all the coddling and nurturing that you give him early on. It's a little too much for most guys, and they won't say it, they do enjoy it, but at the same time it communicates that there's too much need there. He's the one that has to start out chasing you. Remember that. And then later on, yes, then you get into nurturing mode and you can do all that great stuff for him. Number 4 is don't be so available. Be busy. Have friends. Keep your life active and interesting. This is what tells a guy that you value yourself and you have value. Men don't want to date a woman that we feel or sense on some level doesn't have social value or doesn't have a life, because that's just immediately off-putting to your social brain. We have little cues we look for. You have little cues you look for in other guys. Make sure you do that. Number 5, avoid drama and fake pretentious behavior at all costs. Now, chances are, if you're hearing this and if you get this one when I say it, you're probably not a problem, right? I mean, the women that hear this bit of advice and they don't recognize their own lack of authenticity are usually already blind to it, and it's kind of hard to help them. But ask a trusted friend. Ask them, how can I improve my persona? How can I be a better friend to you? It's a great way to find out from that person what they're really needing from you. And in general, that's also what you could be giving more to your relationships with men. Number 6 is let him know what makes you horny, baby. Yes, a little Austin Powers for your morning. Look, he needs to know that you are turned on by him, that he turns you on. Sexual virility is an essential part of a man's ego. His masculine ego needs to know he's got that certain special something when it comes to attracting women. Now, fake it if you have to. This is where a lot of women may not feel in sync with this kind of advice, but it's important for you to show that kind of desire for him, even if you might not have that real, visceral, I want to go to the bedroom with you this moment desire. You can fake it. You can just say something that lets him know that you do find him desirable. Maybe not going to bump uglies right in this moment, but yes, you're willing to go to the bedroom with him. He needs to know that. Men need to know that you need us in that physical way. And yes, we know that you need to be warmed up, and that'll come later on, but he wants to share, he wants basically to know that you share his experience of instant sexual desire, because that's a man's experience. We have that desire instantly. We don't need the warming up, and we'd love it when you show that to us. Number 7, simple one, but very often overlooked. Make a solid connection with him. Connection with a guy can seem very difficult to a woman. It's this whole man versus woman thing, right? We're so different. He's a guy, you're a woman, you're not the same. Men can seem tricky to connect with. It's the whole Mars versus Venus thing. It was started by John Gray back in the day, and we all believe right now that men are so different. We are different in certain ways, but it's actually not that hard to connect with guys. What you need to know is what your connection type is. Knowing what that connection type you have is, how you connect with people, will help you match up with him. When you know it, you'll know instantly how to connect, even if he's not your type. It's just like having an iPhone or some other kind of cell phone. If you don't have the right cord, right, the right charger connection there, you're not going to be able to connect. You're not going to have the right adapter. You're not going to get a charge. You get the metaphor here, don't you? And you need that charge to start the sparks between you two. Men do look at the quality of your connection to figure out if he's going to see you as his girlfriend or his wife or that kind of thing, or if he's just going to see you as friends with benefits material, right? The booty call. It's sad, but that's how it goes, and that's why it's so important to understand how men connect. Now, I've got a great way for you to do that. If you want to find out what your connection type is, I've got a simple little quiz, short, I think it's like 10 questions, I don't know, it'll take you like 5 minutes. Come on, dude. Go on over to datingfire.com, datingfire.com/connect. datingfire.com/connect. Find out what your particular connecting type is, and then you'll know better how to connect with the guys, right? And when you do, you'll also get my free VIP newsletter. You're going to get my free ebook on the 7 ways that women accidentally push men away. I'm going to give you a ton of great stuff. All you got to do is take a quiz. Go on over to datingfire.com/connect and find out your connection type. Hey, this is Carlos Cavallo. It's always great giving this info. And of course, make sure you come back again next week. Hey, as always, it's great talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. As always, live and love with passion.